on that valve cover, and so pause it so you guys didn't just get like super bored with it. That valve cover was stuck so hard. Let me show you like what the gasket even looks like coming out of this thing. So you see here, if you look thin gasket scraper here that I could get in here under the gasket without hurting the valve cover and get it down here to the point where it would finally give me enough leverage to kind of pry up on it enough to breaking this loose. But man, that gasket is old and very cruddy. Apart a lot easier than that. You can see how much more this one stuck than the one over here. So most of it came off with the valve cover itself, and a little bit up here at the top. But man, that one over there was stuck all the way around. It was tight. So now, next thing we can do, we can go ahead and start taking our valve train here. I'm going to be trying to be real particular, make sure I keep everything organized, but we got to take this out so that we can then take our our very heavy intake off here. I always kind of scoff and laugh about it because I just think this is just such a ludicrous design. But anyway, welcome to the Ford world. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and start taking the valve train off here. Again, see if I can get you guys up in a way that you can see. I hear little boy feet. You coming to help? Yeah. Mom's coming too. We got the whole crew here now. All right, where'd the ratchet go? Is that a socket? Yeah. All right. Don't mess with the phone, baby. Oh man. Tight. Everything on this motor is tight. Don't mess with that.
He's not. He's good. Yes. Oh. Oh gosh. Oh no. Bad map, so
Probably very loud.
Come on, let's go. Let's go play over here. I don't know how you have that.
It is a 1964 Ford Galaxy. This is basically all original car, all interior original. So that is the car that we're working on. How about y'all going over there, play in the yard for a little while? Cool. So what we're doing, we started a live stream earlier, and we were kind of finishing up the disassembly of this motor here. Yesterday, pulled the carburetor, all the top end off, got the headers off and everything. This morning we pulled the water pump, and then we got stuck on the valve covers because this valve cover was stuck so tight. It took me forever to get it off. Had to get creative with some gasket scrapers so that I could actually work on it. So I could actually get it off, sorry. Now, because of this FE style intake, we got to pull our valve train off so that we can get access to the actual intake itself. This thing is a cast iron intake. It's crazy heavy. So anyway, that's what we're working on. Man. This is tough with no tripod, I'll tell you that. Really struggling here this morning, guys. There we go. Like I said earlier, we're actually in the garage and not all the tools that we have at Dad's garage. Oops, so I'm working out of a little Craftsman tool set here, but it's working pretty good, so I cannot complain any. like I said earlier, as far as we know, this is the absolute first time that this engine in 60 years has been apart, as far as I know, in any capacity. So maybe they've pulled the valve covers off at one point, but judging by how stuck that gasket was, it has been a good minute. This car sat for about 15 years. My great uncle owned the car, and he left it to me when he died. He left it to me, and it sat for about 15 years because I was only about 13 years old. Not many 13-year-olds kind of know what to do with a 64 Galaxy, I have to say. So, saved up some money, got my senses about me, got it to where we could actually work on this thing. There we go. Let's pull that assembly off. I'm going to set it up here with the valve cover. I also said earlier that this was definitely the smoky side we put, and this side was definitely the one that was doing the most. Check that out. It's back here on this tray there. Whew. Yummy. Gross. Set this out of the way. I'm gonna start pulling push rods. I'll be honest with you guys, this is the first engine that I've ever kind of pulled apart. I know that's probably a little surprising, and now that I'm kind of thinking about it, it's a little surprising to me, but this definitely is I've done this with, so there we go. We've got a milestone here. We'll lay these push rods back here, keep them in order. Now this side is ready to have the intake pulled off. So let's go to the other side and get it ready to go also. I'll tell you, doing a live stream is interesting. First ones that I've done is this morning, and puts a different level of pressure on you to make sure you're doing stuff right. Or at least good enough. Maybe not right, but at least good enough. Lost you guys again. Set our rocker assembly out of here. Push rods. All right, we got that pulled apart. Now the only thing we've got left is to try and get this intake off of here, and that'll probably get us through today, I imagine. So what I'm going to do, stick the oil fill cap back on, pull this rag out, Now, we should be ready. Keep hands clean. Here we go. So now, again, our push rods are now out of here because the pusher. So those are out of here. We can go ahead and start breaking our intake bolts. Surprisingly, not so bad so far, I would say. There's one thing about these, just everything. They're massive. Everything. There we go. Point it back that way. The other thing I'm curious about is how stuck this intake is. Remember how tight that valve cover was. It'll be interesting to see how tight this intake is and if I am even strong enough to pull it. short bolt in the very back. The rest of them are long bolts. Good to know. Interesting little story about where we're working. So this is my grandfather's house, where he lived for 1954 until 2020. So this is where Dad grew up. And for those that know Dad, he had a 76 Ford truck that they bought him new when he graduated high school. So he graduated in 1976. That truck had a 390 FE Ford in it. And here, right where we're standing, he pulled that motor, or variations of that motor, many, many times. And so me and him last night were laughing about the irony of me pulling this motor out, also Ford 390, pulling it out here in this exact same bay. And as soon as I get this bolt out, I'll show you guys another funny thing that goes along with that. Wipe my hands off here. So again, right here, it's the same bay that no concrete. It was a dirt floor. There was no door. Or Papa had made these life. But right here, two befores here when they put these doors in. But Papa actually put a hook into that right there. Alright, maybe we should be a little more stable now. Alright, maybe we should be a little more stable now. So now we'll go ahead and take something and go ahead and start prying intake, see if we can get it off. At least got through the gasket. Oh yeah, it come loose very easily actually. Now, the real question is, am I strong enough to lift it? Pull this socket out of here. Holy smokes, that thing's heavy. See if I can get it on the side. We'll make sure we've got it loose. About need a dang engine hoist just to pick it. Make sure we've got it loose. About need a dang engine hoist just to pick it up. Whew. Dang. Right. There we go. That heavy piece out of this thing. Finally. All right, that's it for today. That's everything I wanted to get done. Get this thing ready to be pulled, and we are basically there now. So we're ready to go. Hopefully you guys will see a full video of this disassembly here pretty soon, and then we'll just keep on digging. I don't know exactly when this engine's going to come completely apart, but it'll be a few weeks probably. But thanks everyone who watched, everybody that follows and subscribes. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.